ladies and gentlemen, this is Christelle Martinet. After a couple of days of relaxing and getting back into the swing of things, and I'm scrying for the solstice today, and I will be putting out a reading as well, but I generally like to put out the scrying session first. Fight for your life, you know. I'm finding just that really strong motivation of fighting for your life. It's a survival, you know, this is a survival message. Get up and be counted, you know, get yourself in the swing of things. I'm trying to sling out as many sayings as I can, as many aphorisms, as many colloquial, high-ended ways of expressing this fight for your life. You know, as I always say, everything is relative. You know, we have these high-level financial consultants and people who are just trying to make ends meet, and all of those who are not even looking at me, and who can't afford to have a Wi-Fi connection. Right now, what I'm seeing, this is the solstice. Okay, this is a rite of passage, and it's how we decide to pass through this moment is going to, you know, aprire le danze, they say in Italian, start your dance for the future years to come. Fight for your life. Now, it's not a matter of understanding whether we're alone in our fight for our life, which we, you know, I have to say that's the name of the game here, or whether we have some sort of, we're flanked by other people and we have that support mechanism. But ultimately, what goes into your brain, what comes out of your thoughts, and what you think is what distinguishes your mind, and what distinguishes your beliefs, and what distinguishes you, okay? I'm trying to fight for your life. You can't fight for your life without an ego, all right? The ego is not disjointed from what I'm saying here. But where's the line that we draw between what we conceive as a spiritual life and what we conceive as our material life? I'm the first one to say, I'm a material girl. You know, I'm a real material girl. I love a spiritual relationship, and I'll define that. If there's not a person that interacts with me on a physical level, that person doesn't exist for me. If I have a person in front of me, we interact, that person goes to China for a month, we're not together, my spiritual connection to that person will create the bond and maintain the bond. Okay, fight for your life. And then you ask, which one is that? Which one is that? The life today with all of the blocks that I've brought forth from other lives? Is it a parallel life? Is it the life I'm talking to you in? Is this the right timeline that we're in? I'll repeat that. You fight for your life, and if you need contact, and you don't have contact with that person, and this is to go to answer all of the questions that I received for that live event that I wasn't able to answer, to respond to. If you don't have contact with that person, it's for a reason. You cannot control another person, no matter how much you want to. You can go to Mr. Kingpin of, you know, Kanikati or the Timbuktu or whatever. Put a hoax, a bond, a you know, tie, a cord, you know, string it around his his things, his pride and joy, but they'll never be under your control. A man can try to control a woman in any way he feels fit. Money, power, hacking, control, prison, anything. The mind will never be theirs. Fight for your life. fight for your life means to find your space, to find your freedom. What is that? What is your life? Do you have one? Now this is, recently I've had a number of people come to me for different things, for readings, for clearings, notably for clearings, most of them really. And I found myself saying to several of them, but do you know what you want? Do you know who you are? I mean, you want that person in your life. Why? What is it? And can't you stay one day without that person? What is it? I'm going back to the dream world, Carl Jung's dream world, where our dreams represent bits of ourselves. You dream about someone taking you on a trip on a boat, and you're seeing this person from afar, and you're wondering, why is that person there? Why is this person, at the helm of a ship where I'm on and very relaxed? Is that me taking myself, and it is another person, they have a face, they probably have a name in your life, in truth, and this is, Christelle Martinette's take on this, they're just another side of you because you're giving control to something that you cannot control yourself. You're trusting. It's a matter of trust. Now, if there's someone that you cannot trust, are they there? I mean, do they exist? Do they mean anything for you? Let's fight for your life. Fight for your life. If you're not interested in... Now, this is going to sound like a soapbox. I hope it doesn't. If you're interested in an interaction with someone, it's a question of interacting. If that person does not want to interact with you, if they don't return home, if they've left the home years ago and they're not returning, there's a reason for that. You can come to me, you can go to another psychic, and you can find out where they are. And I've had numerous questions like this. I found people in prison, people who were, people trafficking, drug dealers, people who are not returning home because they don't want to get their family in trouble. Right? The next stop is going to the authorities, going to a secret, investigator, going to someone, a private investigator. If you really want to find somebody, use your money that way. But what I feel is that most of the people really don't want to know. They want to entertain an illusion that I'm fighting for my life, and that person's in my life somewhere, in the dream that I have, not thinking that they are just another part of themselves, Now, at the cost of being enigmatic or sounding even negative, what I'm thinking here is that either you want to live this life and give it every single ounce of passion you have, or don't do it. But it's your responsibility. It's not another person's. Another person cannot guarantee you happiness. Another person cannot guarantee you love. Another person can tingle your skin because they'll just make your blood boil and you think, oh, that person is so good for me. But again, we're back to the story of fighting for your life, not for an illusion. Because if someone's not there, it's an illusion. It's something that you're creating in your mind. Now let's go to another point that's very clear here. The bond, the spiritual bond that you have with someone, all of the people who contacted me, who wanted to know, is this person my twin flame? Is this person that person I'm supposed to be with? Is that person? And it's a wonder that every single one of them, every single one was not with that person. Now, in one case, of all of the cases that I've had, one case, the person was a runner. Like myself, I'm a runner. They get very close to that person and they run away. They get very close and they run away. And in that case, it's a matter of looking at, a reflexive turn, having a reflexive turn, looking at yourself, fighting for your own life because you're missing out perhaps on crossing and spending that little bit of road to travel with someone. The rest that have tried to understand what role these persons have, it's very, very interesting to see that when you tap into a person's soul, and I'm again highlighting fight for your life, how the information that you have and you can offer back to them, nothing that they don't really know really, but some connections, yes. Most of the connections that we're able to make as therapists go right beyond anyone. But when they see the connections and they realize and they're reminded, let's say they're reminded of the connections, the whole perspective shifts. There's a complete shift in the way you consider yourself with respect to other people. You see things in a far more different way. And when the message, this is the solstice, this is a rite of passage. How am I going to go through that passageway, that portalway? How am I going to go through that? And am I going to be free? What does being free mean? And it's very, very interesting, this notion of freedom, because once we clear people of blocks and restrictions, those who were most bound to blocks and restrictions, negative entities, all kinds of things that took energy from them, are the people who are most affected after the clearing is done, because it seems that they have difficulty in navigating in their newfound freedom. They have no more shackles. Fighting for your life then is more of moving forward without a sparring partner. You don't have anyone to fight against. And your whole perspective and your whole countenance, the way you act, is completely different. And that is scary. Granted, it may be scary for many, many people to see you yourself in a different, with different boxing gloves, okay? And what I'm reminded of now is the notion of self-irony, laughing at yourselves, turning back, looking at what you used to think or what you used to do, how you used to act, and actually laughing out loud and saying, that's life. Boy, was I an ass. Well, that's past. Really laughing out loud and just picking yourself up and going on. Struggling, fighting for your life. Again, it's one in many lifetimes. So let's take it for what it's worth. We'll be coming round again, or going to be someone's guide, or doing some other kind of work in some council, or some kind of third order ushering, earthbound souls somewhere. It depends on what we really want to do now, what we really want to do. If you have the ability to truly understand what you want, most of the battle and the struggle for fighting for your life is won. Now, let me give you an example. One person came to me and I asked her, do you know what is the most important thing for you? I would like to share my life with someone. And, I heard that and I thought, well, I was wondering why. And so I asked, well, why is that? And that person said quite clearly, and I had to agree with her, because it gives me a reflection of what I'm doing, and it all turns back to with a reflexive turn, because it teaches me something about myself. The person I most want to be with is a person who's taught me lessons, who's made me understand things, how I did things wrong, how I, and it seems that it's always a personal growth, in this case, this person. And I'm bringing that to you because when you're fighting for your life, And doing it alone, you're feeling like you're doing it alone. And there's no other reflexive turn. There is, however, the ability to self-assess, to look at what we're doing, re-listen to the things that we say, the people we see the movies again. Just change the reel, change it, and roll it back to the beginning and listen to it, watch it. And in those cases, what it seems happens is that, because people come back on a regular basis to me, and what I find is that there is a definite shift. There is a complete move from the initial idea of wanting to spend with someone some time in their lives to a complete different objective. I need to do some work on myself. I'd like to be able to give back. And that seems to be a constant in a development. So when I start, the first thing that jumped up was fight for your life. Fight for your life. It was interesting to see from what perspective. It reminds me of a pawn shop that I went to. I just love pawn shops. And I just like to go and look. And there was one, it was recently, I think it was last November that I went to. It was in the States. And there was a pair of black leather Armani boxing gloves that were exquisite. They were exquisite. And I was there. I went in every day for at least 10 days. The guy must have thought I was nuts. I was watching and looking and looking and watching. And I don't know what I was even thinking. And then at the end of the week, at the end of that period, I thought to myself, is it a symbol? It's a symbol of fighting for your life. Fighting for your life. Going in style that was very fine black leather, Armani designer boxing gloves. And I thought to myself, could that be a symbol I could hang on my wall? It was quite expensive, The moral of the story, I didn't get those gloves, okay? But it was so fascinating. By far, it's one of the most fascinating items that I've ever seen, because it created so many things in my mind, the fighting for your life. And I thought, going out in style, just cruising in style. And I thought to myself, back to the person who said to me, I'd like to walk along my life with someone and share it with them. And I asked her why. And she said about this reflexive turn. Then through that boxing glove story and the memory of that just now, there's a patch here that is sort of rainbowish, that tells you, there seems to be something at the end of that rainbow, that pot of gold. It seems that the truth that you harbor within yourself, and this is, half soapbox, half, half not, not controlled here, the truth that you harbor within yourself and bring forward and refine it seems to be a sort of style that you bring toward the way you go about concluding your entire thought processes in this lifetime. And, the idea of a symbol, having a symbol, many people think, oh, come on, do all the jewelry, all this. But they're memories, they're pieces. I started by saying I'm a material girl. I like the person right in front of me, eye to eye. At least the first time. I want to see. I want to look in their eyes to see what their soul is like. And it's a memory, all of the symbols that you bring with you. The citrine from Pennsylvania, the quarry, and the feldspar in this lovely gem from South Africa. They're memories that come with you and make up who you are And stories, they create stories. But when you're fighting for your life, there's a very small margin of storytelling because it's a split second after you decide what you have to do, the decisions that you make to fight for your life. And then what we do is go on and live with the decisions we've made. And we are a product of our decisions. Now, we are born alone, we die alone. My mother always used to say that. I hear that all the time. Is it all about being alone? Is it all about trying to understand and accept our human condition? You know, Albert Camus, the Algerian writer, is one of my favorites. That was the basis of most of his writing. Jean-Paul Sartre, the same thing, this existential crisis that permeates the human condition. Is it possible to laugh knowing the human condition? You know, and I sort of counter with, if you don't get it right this time, just, you know, try again, if you don't have the shackles and bonds of an institutional mindset. Fighting for your life. The June 21st solstice, ladies and gentlemen, is giving us this very strong message. Fighting for our life. What does fight mean to you? And what does your life mean to you? And how could fighting for your life play out in your days around this solstice period? This is what we are asked to ponder. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. I really do hope this message was of help to you. It was very, very illuminating to me. I'm going now to go do a reading on my other channel. Bye-bye till we read again together. One last thing. Go take a look at my webpage, www.christellemartinet.com. I have a special half-price sale on my certificate course to learn the Vida Sibila. What would life be without them? Check it out. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.